he kind of glommed on to the wealth of Hassan Shandhu, and Shandhu also had another wealthy Pakistani friend named Wamid Hamid, and he was also wealthy. So the way I look at it is Barack Obama's emotional and financial dependence on Hassan Shandhu was kind of the psychological precursor of his emotional and financial dependence later on with Tony Resco in Chicago. So the story I'm trying to get across is that Obama has always sort of been the guy who has wealthy, extremely wealthy patrons looking out for him.
Especially Islamic wealthy patrons.
Yes, because Anthony Resco was tied to the Nation of Islam as one of the business partners of the son of the Elijah Muhammad, as I understand it.
Resco was connected to Louis Farrakhan's outfit?
Definitely. If you read Jerome Corsi's book, Abomination,
yeah,
there's a very detailed discussion of Anton Resco's connections.
I have the book sitting right here. I need to go back and look at it again.
Oh,
okay.
Please, Rick. I recommend it.
Dr. Corsi's been a frequent guest on the program. It's one of those things I overlooked. The connection between Resco and Louis Farrakhan. That's interesting.
This might be newsworthy because I think you can actually make a pretty strong case that Reverend Wright and Louis Farrakhan got financial support from Muammar Gaddafi. This was to help purchase the Nation of Islam.
Well, yeah, because that story goes back many, many years. I'd say to, I want to say 1998, Muammar Gaddafi said he was going to, what was the figure, $1 billion or $5 billion that he was going to give Farrakhan?
Well, it was. I was thinking it was closer to the $5 million range, but it was definitely a ton of money, and it allowed them to secure their headquarters building in Chicago. Reverend Wright was part of that visit, so was Louis Farrakhan, and this was in, I believe, the early 1980s, and I think you might be able to make a strong argument that Muammar Gaddafi perhaps made a small investment in America at a time when he was basically at war with us, and that investment did end up perhaps inadvertently nurturing the candidacy of the young Barack Obama.
Now, you said earlier that Barry was the cool dude on campus.
Yes.
I saw this one photograph of Barry Soetoro it must be around 1980. He's dressed like it looks like he's from Havana. He's got the Panama hat and the denim shirt. Was that the way he dressed? Did he look like he was a friend of Che Guevara?
No, not at all. The Barack Obama I knew was dressed like a wealthy Hawaiian prince. If anything, he had kind of an impeccable, wealthy appearance. I think they were just dressing him up in that hat for the photos or something. But the Barack Obama I knew looked wealthy. I thought he and Hassan were a wealthy gay couple when I first saw them.
Really? That's what you thought?
Oh yeah, they were metrosexuals before being metrosexual was cool, I guess. They were.
Which one did you think was the female?
Barack.
He was the more effeminate?
He was the more beautiful one of the couple. So, but in fact, Caroline.
First time on radio. First time. This has been said. Okay.
Well, I don't mean to be.
No, this is interesting.
Scary, but Caroline, because it was so obvious that there was this like almost romantic attachment between Obama and Hassan, that Caroline came up to me and basically whispered in my ear that they're not gay.
She said that to you?
Yeah, well, what's interesting to me is she went out of her way to let me know that they weren't gay.
Oh, Dr. Manning in New York's going to love to hear this. I got to call him when this is over.
I was on the radio with Dr. Manning.
Long-legged Mac Daddy. You know what I mean?
That did not come up. That issue did not come up. But that's how obvious and how how unusual the relationship between those two was at the time. But he came off very wealthy. They drove up in a really brand new BMW sports car, and I thought they were both wealthy multimillionaires when I met them. It never occurred to me that Barack, was poor and just sort of hanging on to Hassan's wealth.
Well, it certainly isn't the image his campaign created of him.
No, and in fact, I'm a student of charismatic leadership. I'm trained as a political scientist. And one of the things I'm interested in theoretically is the story that Barack Obama tells about himself in Dreams of My Father and the reality of what I saw with my own eyes, as an eyewitness to those same moments in Obama's life.
Well, he's told a lot of whoppers about his childhood and his family. I mean, I came across one statement, I got it from CNN, a transcript of an interview during the campaign. And he was talking about VA benefits for vets.
Okay.
And he said, my father benefited from the VA benefits after the war. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, your father was born in Kenya. Yeah. How was he in World War II in the U.S. Army? Why would he be getting VA benefits? But nobody called him down on it. He just said it and got away with it.
That's odd. That just doesn't make any sense.
Well, the man is a pathological liar.
Well, I can definitely call attention to some contrast between the real Barack Obama that I knew and the guy in the book. And one of them is that I did not sense any hatred of white people in the young Barack Obama. And yet in his book he talks about, just extraordinarily negative attitudes towards white people. And I saw absolutely no evidence whatsoever of that.
Okay, so now tell me, how did this conversation get going? Paint a picture of what was happening.
Okay, well, we were up at Caroline's parents' house in Palo Alto, California, near Stanford University, and Barack and Hassan had drove up, and we all went out to a restaurant to eat, and and then we came back to the house at Palo Alto, and basically we were sitting around a table drinking beer, as I remember, and smoking cigarettes. I remember I liked those Marlboro Lights at the time. Every time I see Marlboro Lights, I still think about those moments. And at any rate, it turned into kind of a tough conversation, and the reason is Barack Obama was arguing for a Marxist-Leninist point of view, which anticipated that the working class was going to rise up and overthrow the ruling class in a revolution. And that revolution could be violent or nonviolent. But Obama and Hassan and Caroline were pretty much sold on the idea that a revolution was coming, maybe within the next 10 to 20 years, and that we needed to, in a sense, prepare ourselves psychologically and academically for that coming revolution.
What was Obama's attitude about this coming Marxist revolution? Was it positive, or was he apprehensive?